Hello, everybody. So, I wanted to talk about this post I saw recently that shows and claims that in 2005, UN made a declaration to declare food as a human rights. Um, Here was the voting record of each country. Notice the only country to vote no. So, according to this, voting no is the red. The only country to vote no, as you see, is the U.S. So I wanted to look into this because I thought this was very interesting, in my opinion. So I looked it up and on Google, of course, and I was surprised to find that it is true. Um, to an extent, it's worded very tricky and very cleverly written in a way that makes it seem as though the U.S. backs food as a right, but it's not necessarily a right in the way you may think of it. So here it says the United States believes that the issue of adequate food can only be viewed in the context of the right to a standard of living adequate for health and well being as set forth in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which includes the opportunity to secure food, clothing, housing, medical care. The U.S. explanation of vote on the right to food. This is referring to that very UN meeting, from what I understand. Domestically, the United States pursues policies to promote access to food, and it is our objective to achieve a world where everyone has adequate access to food, but we do not treat the right to food as an enforceable obligation. This is very key. This is very key. And mainly, the main key is that they don't enforce that food be given to people as a right. That means that all they ensure, I mean, all they ensure is that they have adequate access to food, which could mean a whole number of things. It could mean they just have restaurants everywhere. That could be the very answer they're talking about, is we have restaurants everywhere where you could pay for food. That is your adequate access to food. It could mean we have abundant food everywhere that's high quality, and you could access it through programs, or you could access it through money, paying for it most likely. Or if you access it through a government program, you have to qualify, you have to be dirt poor, and we're using taxpayer money. There is a Wikipedia page that's all about the right to food, which shows that the U.S. technically, according to Wikipedia, has no known right to food. It's not known. This is according to Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. The Constitution of the United States of America does not contain provisions related to the right to adequate food. That's a good point. So it is very clear that the U.S. has no right to food whatsoever, and this leads to another connected problem, is how the U.S. Uses businesses, specifically, or most notably, I would say most commonly, restaurant businesses owned by independent small business owners, as um, a reason to keep this system of having to pay for food, not getting food as a right. Think of the poor business owners. Whenever there's riots or there's protests, or any of that. They say this is bad for business. Think of the small business owners. Whenever, when as most notably in the COVID-19 lockdown, they shamed a lockdown to save millions of lives, possibly. Because think of the small business owners. Think of the businesses going under. If we don't get food as a human right, they're going to use these businesses, these food businesses, these restaurants, as a shield for every situation that challenges the system, and they're going to use it time and time again. So it's very important to know what they are doing. They're shamelessly using small businesses to throw at any kind of challenge to the system or any kind of responsible health measure. They will use it time and time again. They'll use it as a reason. They will hide behind restaurants for as long as they can. So it is very important to pass food as a right. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks. Bye.